John Beaudin from Rock History Book. How you doing? Thank you for joining me. Lynyrd Skynyrd. 13 members have died through the years. Of course, we all know about the plane crash. And including the real guy. They named the band after a real guy. And he passed away as well. So even though he wasn't a member of the band, that's like 14. Let's get it going. There's been a lot of tragedy in the band Lynyrd Skynyrd, but of course a lot of triumphs too. Man, the band sold incredibly well, longest lasting, like the Southern rock band. In the end, of course, it's the music that speaks the loudest and, of course, the longest. The band released 14 studio albums, 6 live LPs, 30 singles, and there were 23 compilation albums, and the compilation albums did incredibly well. The big records went double platinum, like the first one in 73, pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd. And then, of course, second helping the following year. And moving up a few albums, Street Survivors, that was released 3 days before the tragic plane crash that killed both pilots, the group assistant, road manager, and 3 band members, Ronnie Van Zant, the vocalist, Steve Gaines, and his sister, the backup singer, Cassie Gaines, and severely injured a lot of people in the whole band. It was just a freaking mess. It was crazy. Their live album went triple platinum in 76. It featured that classic lineup. And Lynyrd Skynyrd's innards went 5 times platinum, and their golden platinum went 3 times platinum. So it says an awful lot about, their longevity and the strength of their songs. Here we go. Big tunes. Give me 3 steps. Sweet Home Alabama, which will always be the big one, really. But if you're a diehard fan, Freebird gets in there. Saturday Night Special, What's Your Name, among many, many others. On September 20th, 2010, the real Lynyrd Skynyrd, that's Skynner, died of Alzheimer's at the age of 77. Now, he was a gym teacher at Robert E. Lee High School in Jacksonville, Florida. He sent Skynyrd's Ronnie Van Zant to the principal's office more than a few times for having long hair. So Van Zant decided to name, in a mocking fashion, his band after the teacher. At first, Lynyrd Skynyrd wasn't happy with the band using his name, but then he realized, you know what, I could be part of rock and roll, the rock and roll history. In 1975, Mr. Skynyrd decided to become a realtor, and the band asked him if they could use his real estate sign in the packaging of their 1975 album, Nothing Fancy. Again, Mr. Lynyrd Skynyrd said, yeah, what the heck. After Skynyrd died, Lynyrd Skynyrd guitarist Gary Rosington said something in a statement like this. It was very nice. Coach Skynyrd had such a profound impact on our youth and ultimately led us to naming the band, which you know as Lynyrd Skynyrd, after him. Looking back, I cannot imagine it any other way. Man, as a band members, a lot of them have died through the years, and we're talking about touring members and otherwise, but we found, and we could have been wrong here, we found 13 of them. Lynyrd Skynyrd, one of the classic bands of all time. You ready to roll? Let's get this going. Including the aforementioned Ronnie Van Zant, of course, who died at the age of 29, by the way, and Steve Gaines was 28. His sister was 29 in that 1977 plane crash. There was a lot of injuries with people in the band. It was, like I said, terrible. Guitarist Alan Collins, who was with them until 77, died on January 23rd, 1990 from chronic pneumonia. He was just 37 years old. Drummer Bob Burns, who was with them until 75, died in 2015 in a single car crash. He hit a mailbox. He was 64 years old. So there you go, a Lynyrd Skynyrd member actually living quite a long life. Bass player Larry Junstrom, we did an obituary on him when he died, was with them until 71, and he was with 38 Special. He passed in 2019. He was 70 years old. This is an interesting one. Bassist Leon Wilkeson joined Skynyrd in 72. He was actually sitting with Steve Gaines on that flight. They were both thrown, get this, face first in the bulkhead of the plane. He woke up to find Gaines dead from a broken neck, And he had a lot of injuries himself. He suffered a closed double fracture in his left leg, a severe double compound fracture on his left arm, 6 broken ribs. He had broken his lower jaw, nose, facial bones, and smashed 15 teeth. Basically, all his teeth were knocked out. Crazy. The injury to his left arm was really the thing they were worried about, because they thought of amputating it because they basically landed in a dirty swamp and it contaminated everyone's injuries. So they basically had to rebuild his face. And in the end, though, they did save his arm. But he had to play with his bass really close to his body because of it, because he lost mobility. Wilkinson died in his sleep July 27, 2001 at the age of 49. He was at the Marriott Resort and Beach Club. There you go. More people dying in Lynyrd Skynyrd. Keyboardist Billy Powell. He joined the band 72 on January 28, 2009. Powell died at the age of 56 at his home in Orange Park, Florida. It was during a break with the Lynyrd Skynyrd band. He died of a heart attack. He was also in that plane. He suffered severe facial lacerations. They thought he was going to lose his nose. He was the only person, he was the first person let out of the hospital, and he was the only person in the band that was able to basically go to the funeral of his band members. Oh, wrong one. Get that away. There we go. We've got bassist Ed King. No, hold on. Just give me a second here. I've got my wrong order. I've got all my notes here, trying to get this done. There we go. And then there's bassist Ian Evans. He was the bassist Lynyrd Skynyrd from 2001 to the point where he died. He was 58 years old. He died of lung cancer. And also singing and touring member Jojo Billingsley joined in 75. She was the only band member not to be on the plane. She died at 58 of cancer. Guitarist Byron Glover was with them on and off from 75. He died in 2010. And guitarist Hughie Thomason was a founding member of the Outlaws, and he died September 9th, 2007. He was 55 years old. I hope what's going on behind me is not making you seasick, because there's a lot going on today. Let me see if I got any of your notes. Hi, Alex. Injured table tennis player. Hello, Alex. Jim Croce also died in a plane crash. He did in 73. Stevie Ray, too. Yeah. It's sad when this kind of things... I mean, when I've read things describing the plane crash, when I've read that, and I think to myself, could I have gotten back in a band? Would I have been able to get back on a plane? Or even travel? Because that kind of... I mean, losing all your teeth, having to rebuild your face... I can't imagine waking up and there's Steve Gaines with a broken neck. And I remember hearing that he said he clearly was dead. You could really tell that Steve Gaines was dead. And it's amazing that people survived that crash. I don't know how it happened, but it did happen. There's something about Lynyrd Skynyrd, the fact that, you know what, they've rebuilt themselves. There's another Van Zandt singing for them, but they've rebuilt themselves and they're still going, and good for them. Good Southern rock band. And the fact that they named their band after a gym teacher, you know? See your... Oh, hanging Chad says drugs make you do things. Well, I'd like to know, I don't know, I've never read this part of it, but it might have been better if they were having a few drinks on that plane. I don't know if they were. They were a hard-living band, right? So there you have it. Thanks for joining me tonight. Appreciate it. Love doing these. I like doing these at night. I don't know. I'm kind of in my, we got a new lighting system here now. And I just realized I had this backdrop of Lynyrd Skynyrd that we used a couple of years ago. It's moving a little too fast though. It's making me sick a little bit. Anyway, one more comment. Talk to Ian Evans after a gig back in 2000. A nice guy. Oh, cool. Thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate that. This is John Beaudin. If you want to support the channel, there are the 2 P's in the description. Patreon and PayPal. You can have early access to our videos. John Beaudin, Rock History Music. Take care of yourself.